Today I want to talk about Jason Llewellyn, who has committed to the University of Oklahoma, and all that's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Today, let's talk about Jason Llewellyn, 6'5", 240-pound tight end who has committed to Oklahoma coming out of Aledo, which, JoJo Earl just came out of, going to Alabama. Jace McClellan just came out of, going to Alabama. But what's remarkable about Llewellyn is what he does on the field and just how he has flown under the radar until recently. His huddle film is outstanding. Like, the first 5 plays are 2 of him lining up on the numbers as a wide receiver and really just taking apart a cornerback on an out route. They ran that play back-to-back for him because they knew he could get anything he wanted out there. And then they have him put his hand on the ground on the line of scrimmage, and he is moving furniture. He is pinning down defensive ends. He is clearing people out for run plays, and it was really remarkable to see a dude that was that agile and that good with his hands be able to do it all from the tight end position. I know that there are already folks that are talking about Mark Andrews 2.0, and I don't see that. I mean, Mark Andrews was an All-American, and let's not act like you're going to have your hand on the ground moving furniture a whole lot as a tight end at Oklahoma. That's a receiver position. But what I thought was more interesting than any of his play on the field was how his recruitment has gone, right? Because, 6'5", 240, a 3-star according to Rivals, and then unranked according to to 247, right? Which is something else entirely. But then you take a look at his timeline for offers, man. Go down the spectacles right quick. And we're looking at, and this is just going since January 2nd. So we're going to start with the new year. Indiana got in there. Baylor got in there. Texas Tech got in there. Arkansas got in there. San Diego State got in there. Texas Christian, this is by January 17th. Oklahoma State, the 24th. North Texas, the 26th. Utah, SMU, Michigan, Minnesota. Texas gets in on February 1st. My goodness. Kansas State gets on February 3rd. Colorado gets in on February 10th. Oklahoma getting in February 13th. Remember, this is just February 19th. February 16th, Auburn gets in there. Ole Miss got in there in February 17th. And then, of course, the commitment, Oklahoma, February 19th. Now, also a legacy for Texas Christian. His father played football there. And I look around and I'm going, okay, so this is going to be one of those fast risers. Travion Henderson was not unlike this. There were people that watched his film and were like, yo, what is everybody missing? Why isn't this the top running back in the country, let alone just a 5-star, period, right? And it was, we got to his huddle film. We saw who was offered him. We readjusted the rankings. And I think 247 will be pretty quick about how it reevaluates one Jason Llewellyn when it comes time to do those things. But again, Oklahoma getting in there and getting in there late. I mean, just looking at the last 6 weeks, right? Still able to pull that dude out of Aledo. Now, other thing I find encouraging about Llewellyn coming out of there is that is your replacement for what I think Jalen Conyers. Jalen Conyers ends up transferring to Arizona State. One of the best athletes I've ever seen with my own eyes. He's going to develop into a great football player, I think, at Arizona State, playing for Herm Edwards and the Sun Devils. Also means that you got somebody that you can look to as something like an heir apparent for Austin Stogner. Also means that Oklahoma makes it a habit here of the last few cycles of going into Texas to get that tight end prospect, right? Mark Andrews is looking like the outlier because you're always looking for the next Jermaine Gresham at OU, and Mark Andrews came through in a big way. I think Braden Willis can be really good, right? But is he a traditional tight end? No. Traditional tight ends are larger and wider, right? That's nothing against Braden Willis, who is an outstanding receiver, an outstanding offensive player who can do a lot of things for Oklahoma. I look at him more as that fullback, do everything Jeremiah Hall type, right? Or for those of y'all that can take it all the way back to Trey Millard, you understand what I'm talking about. That fullback is just ridiculous in a Lincoln Riley offense. Demetri Flowers basically made that position popular. It's why Mikey Henderson is doing such a good job, and I think is going to continue there, though he could play a little bit of tailback. Although with Eric Gray being on campus now, probably less likely. But you're filling in gaps that you need to fill in. And Oklahoma's roster management has been just tremendous over the past year. Like, taking advantage of the mulligan you get for the year, taking advantage of the transfer portal to fill in your needs, adding guys like Wanye Morris, adding guys like Eric Gray, adding guys like Key Lawrence, all just from Tennessee, right? Then you get Chris Murray for another year. You're returning guys like Marquise Hayes, right? You understand what Andrew Rame can provide for you. You also get another year of, hopefully, Bray Walker, and maybe that guy comes along. And that's before we get to the skill players, which are outstanding. Jaden Hazelwood, Theo Weiss, Marvin Mims, Spencer Rattler, right? A lot of people were dinging me for my top 5 tandems. Look, it's not my top 5 tandems. It was top 5 I was most excited to see. Whatever, right? I'm excited to see Casey Thompson and Bijan Robinson because I know what I'm going to see with Spencer Rattler and Marvin Mims. That said, Marvin Mims and Spencer Rattler are the only returning combo that were also All-Americans last year. Freshman All-Americans, but you still get the point there. It's a great predictor of future success. Take a look at those All-American teams, specifically at the Football Writers Association of America. So all of those things go into account when I'm looking at this. And then you have a Caleb Williams waiting in the wings, right? You added outstanding play, right? You go to Penn State and you get a quarterback. Just Micah out of the portal like it's nothing, coming out of Bishop Gorman after Chandler Morris ends up transferring to Texas Christian. Oklahoma has been awesome at replenishing its coffers. Like, that's the part of this that I think OU fans should be getting giddy about. It ain't that you got talent. It's that you can lose talent and replace it either in the portal or in the recruiting process. We know that Oklahoma has been struggling to finish inside that top 5, finish inside that top 3, and compete with LSU, Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, Georgia for those spots. But they have been able to make this up in the portal. You saw it first and most spectacularly with quarterbacks, right? Baker Mayfield was there when Lincoln Riley gets there. I don't want to give him a whole lot of credit for that because, frankly, he was trying to recruit him to East Carolina, right? But going into the portal to get Kyler Murray on that financial aid agreement, not even the portal, just, hey, we know you want to go, we know you want to play baseball, come here. Going into the portal to get Jalen Hurts, yes, absolutely. Eric Gray, I think, is going to be outstanding for them. I mean, going in and get Theo Howard out of UCLA, also just bolstering your wide receiver roster, right? That is what I think we should focus on when we talk about how good this roster is, just how good the director player personnel, Drew Hill, Andy Hansen, executive director of recruiting, have been at really fomenting this. Chip Viney out there doing outstanding work. And Oklahoma going to get a Jason Llewellyn who is off the radar of 247 completely. Again, no stars, 3 stars according to Rivals. And I think is going to finish as a 4-star, probably a top 300 player when it's all said and done. All right, that's it for me. Deuces.